what's going on, guys? My name is Tom Spark. Welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about Firefox private network beta. Now, you might have heard of people writing articles like TechCrunch, for example, saying Firefox has launched a new VPN service, and this might have piqued your interest. But there are a couple things that I want to clarify about this service, as well as gives you kind of a basic pro and cons about using this service going forward. So just to be clear, this is not necessarily what could be called a VPN, really. VPN is something that you're going to have to install through an application on your computer, and it's basically going to encrypt everything going outwards in terms of like your internet adapter. So it's going to encrypt all your internet traffic, so even your ISP can't really see what you're doing. Now, this is specifically built for the browser, which means it's more of like a proxy, which is going to hide your IP and protect you in terms of anonymity that way, but it is not necessarily a VPN. Firefox does not even call it a VPN, they just call it Firefox Private Network. There are some good things about this service, however, like the fact that it's free for now. So it is free to use, but only for people who live in the US, which is kind of a bummer because we could look at this in terms of unblocking geo restrictions, but since it's only available for people in the US, it's not going to be super useful, since a lot of people in the US don't really have too many geo restrictions, except for maybe something like BBC iPlayer. But the fact that this is more of a proxy and more of an anonymity and privacy tool doesn't necessarily mean that in the future it's going to be useful for unblocking geo restrictions and stuff like that when it's outside the US, because it's not really marketed in terms of that. It's not really a VPN, so it's probably not going to be the best for unblocking websites and geo restrictions necessarily. I really doubt that they're going to be giving access to users to unblock services like Netflix, because there could probably be some legal issues there, or it's probably not something they could probably have a ton of resources to develop, ways to get around blocked websites. Primarily, it seems like they're developing this service for protecting you against dangers on free Wi-Fi connections when you're going into public Wi-Fi cafes and stuff like that. So the add-on itself is pretty easy to use. Pretty much what you do is just go to the link, make sure you have a Firefox account, and it will add it to your browser. You just click on, and that's pretty much it. So it is really easy to use, and that's a good thing about it, but there's also some cons to that as well. One of the cons is there's not really that much settings to configure. You can't choose specifically which proxy server you want to connect to, which is kind of a bummer, because a lot of people use VPNs and proxies to specifically choose how and where you're appearing to be coming from, and that doesn't seem to be an option at this time. Another thing is that since this is so early, this doesn't really have a price tag on it. Now, it's assumed that it's going to be a paid thing to be able to access, and could be one good way that Firefox is looking to monetize their browser and provide security and anonymity at the same time, which isn't that bad of a mission overall. However, I'm wondering how much it's going to cost. In the past, Firefox has partnered with something like Proton VPN, and that was around $10 a month, which is pretty expensive. There are cheaper VPNs out there, and honestly, I was kind of disappointed that Firefox partnered with Proton VPN for this price point. It was a little too expensive in my opinion, and also I think there are more reputable companies out there like TorGuard, AirVPN, and even Molvad would have been all great options to partner with Firefox. And perhaps that is one reason Firefox doesn't really advertise it or promote it that much anymore. Maybe they weren't even happy with it either. Right now, it looks like Firefox is using Cloudflare as their proxy server base, so I think it's a little more reputable than Proton doing it, which is good. So hopefully Firefox manages to make a good pricing model, especially for how limited this is. From what I can understand, what is released now, there's not going to be a downloadable application for VPN use. You're not going to be able to use it with torrent apps and stuff like that. It's simply a browser proxy. So in my opinion, the price should only be around $1 a month or something like that, maybe $12 a year. You could get some other proxies for around $2 to $3, like from TorGuard VPN. 50% off code TomSpark will give you a proxy that you can use in your browser and torrent for only around $2 to $3 a month. So if Firefox wants to compete with some of the best proxies in that sense, it's going to have to be even cheaper, because like I said, it is more limited. You can't choose the servers and stuff like that. It's pretty much just a toggle and switch. Another thing I do want to mention is that Firefox just isn't as fast as some other browsers out there. Take for example Brave browsers. You can see from this video they've made, it loads this page in 2 minutes and 55 seconds, and Firefox is around 3 times as slow. So if you're a really big user into Firefox and you're excited about this, VPN or proxy thing that they're doing, perhaps reconsider switching over to Brave. If you want to switch over to Brave, you can use the code brave.com/tom352 right there, and put it in the link in the description down below, and you can switch to Brave and you're going to get faster speeds. Brave has native ad blocking, script controls, and other privacy and anonymity tools that you can configure on it, and you can use something like Torvalds proxy or another proxy that you want to use to pretty much get the complete package and have faster speeds than you're going to get with Firefox. Anyways, guys, those are some of my critical thoughts and opinions. Let me know what you think down below. Do you really like Firefox? Are you excited for this? Anyways, I'm curious to hear what you think, and thanks for sticking with Tom Spark Reviews, and I'll see you again very soon.